Okay, so let's continue our discussion on simple interest. And now let's talk about the different examples. So you'd better understand the concepts that were presented in the previous video. Okay, so the first example states that a person borrows 20,000 pesos for 3 years at simple interest. The rate of interest is 8% per annum. So per year. 8% ng 8% ng 8% for 3 years. Letter A, what is the interest charge for the first year? And letter B, what is the accumulated amount at the end of year 3? We have two problems here. So basically, on the first problem, we are asked to determine the simple interest charge for the first year. What would be the interest for the first year? And the second one is the accumulated amount at the end of year 3. Okay, so for the solution for letter A, first is that let's determine all the given. Let's define all the given. So from the given problem, we know that the principal is 20,000 pesos. And for the time, because it's first year, then 1 year, and the rate per annum is 8%. And we convert it in decimal form, which is 0.08 or 0.08. And what we are asked to do is or asked to find rather, is the simple interest charge, okay, for the first year. And the formula for the simple interest is I is equal to the principal times rate times time. This is already familiar to you. So by substitution, that is 20,000 pesos times 0.08 times 1 and multiply it, then we know that the simple interest charge is 1,600. Thus, the interest charge for the first year is 1,600 pesos. Okay? Next. For letter B, we are asked to find the accumulation amount. So again, I just put here the given from the problem. So the principal is 20,000 pesos and time now is 3 years because at the end of year 3 already, according to the problem, and the rate per annum is 8%. Okay, and then the unknown here is the accumulated amount. So our formula for the accumulated amount is A of t, capital A of t is equal to A of 0 times 1 plus RT, or in other books, you can find it that the accumulated amount is in terms of F, which is final amount, is equal to P, which is the principal, times quantity 1 plus RT. Okay, so by substitution, we know that what we are looking is A of 3. Okay, I am just using the definition and the formula that was presented to you earlier. So A of 3 means the accumulated amount for 3 years or in 3 years. So by plugging it in, all the given values, so we know that we have 20,000 pesos times quantity 1 plus 0.08 times 3, and the accumulated amount for year at the end of year 3 is 24,400. Sorry, it's 24,800. So meaning, so since every year ang interest niya is 1,600, so 1,600 for the first year, 1,600 for the second year, and 1,600 for the third year. So add those three, that's 1,000, that's 3,000, 1,600 times 3, multiply na lang, is equivalent to 4,800. And we know that the accumulated function or the accumulated amount is the principal plus the interest according to our presentation a while ago. So we know that 20,000 plus 4,800 is 24,800. Okay, the same. Hence, the accumulated amount for 3 years is 24,800. Okay, let's have example number 2. These are all different examples for the simple interest, so you will be familiar. At what rate of interest did Manny invest the amount of 23,500 for it to earn a simple interest of 3,525 for 3 years? Okay? So, again, we need to define here our given. So, ako gusto ko talagang dinidefine yung mga given para pagdating sa pag-substitute sa formula, medyo naiintindihan ninyo. At if ever na you'd like to go back to your answer, because sometimes nagkakamali tayo dun sa paggamit ng formula, nakikita natin kung ano yung dapat natin makita doon. Okay? So, the given, we have the principal, which is 23,500, and time t is 3 years, and the given here is the simple interest, which is amounting to 3,525 pesos. And what is unknown is the rate of interest. Okay? So basically, we know that the formula for the interest is I is equal to P times R times T, or the principal times rate times time. But this time, since the rate of interest is unknown, then we are to derive a formula out of our original formula, which is I is equal to P times R times T. And our formula for the rate, since we are talking about the rate of interest, is by using algebraic manipulation, R is equal to the interest, simple interest, okay, divided by the principal times time, times 100%. Okay, we multiply it by 100% because we are talking about the rate of interest. So by substitution, okay, we know that the interest, the simple interest is 3,525, and the principal is 23,500, and t is 3 terms of years, and multiply it by 100. And kung ako sa inyo, if you're going to use your calculator, diretsahin nyo na yan. Okay? Then tsaka kayo mag-multiply. Doon kayo sa final answer round off into 2 decimal places. And we can see here that the rate of interest that money invested is at a 5% interest rate. Okay? For example number 3, madali lang naman talaga ang entrepreneurial mathematics actually. Especially this one is an introductory part. So, example number 3, how much was borrowed by Mrs. Lenlen if the interest she paid after 3 months at 12.5% simple interest is 3,000 pesos? O C, this is already a different problem because number 1, we know that time now is not already in terms of years, but in terms of months. But our task here is to, of course, convert months to years. So that would be 3 divided by 12 because we have 12 months for a year. And then again, let's define our given. So the given would be the simple interest amounting to 3,000 pesos. And our time here is 3 months, which is equivalent to 0.25 years. Okay. And then the rate of interest is 12.5%, which is equivalent to 0.125 in decimal form. And what is unknown here is the principal amount. Kung magkano yung original amount na hiniram. Okay? that Mrs. Len borrowed. Okay? So again, since we don't have a direct formula, we are going to again derive using algebraic manipulation to our formula. I is equal to P times R times T. And what we have derived is that P is equal to I over R times T. Okay? And again, by substitution, since the simple interest is 3,000 and our rate of interest or interest rate is 0.125 and time T in years is 0.25, then multiply, then divide, multiply the denominator, the expressions in the denominator, and then divide it. Okay, then what we have is 96,000 pesos. Okay, thus we can say that Mrs. Len borrowed 96,000 pesos. Okay, so next meeting we'll talk about ordinary and exact interest.